Imagine a leader who has been in power for over 40 years, is nearing 100 years old, and is about to run for his 8th term. Now imagine this main rival is suddenly and controversially kicked out of the race. This isn't just a movie plot. It is a shocking reality of the upcoming presidential elections in Cameroon. What's really going on behind the scenes, and what does it mean for the country's future? Stay with us because the story of this election is far more complicated than it seems. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel, Elite Media. So today we are diving deep into the high stakes of political drama unfolding in Cameroon. The central figure is of course President Biya. At 92, he is the world's oldest serving head of state, having been in power since 1982. Think about that for a moment. He's been president for nearly 43 years, longer than most of the country's population has been alive. His candidacy for an 8th term, which could keep him in office until it's almost 100, was nearly true or was never truly in doubt. His party, of course, the CPDM, dominates the political landscape, and his victories have often felt like a formality. But these victories have not been without controversies. In the past, his components or opponents have consistently alleged vote rigging, claims that his government has always denied. Yet, the statistics tell a story of their own. In the 2018 presidential election, voter turnout was just over 53%, and Biya was declared the winner with a majority of votes, while many observed questioned the credibility of the elections or the results. This time around, with over 3 million registered voters, the question isn't just who will win, but how the election will be conducted. But if Biya's victory seems so certain, why is the government so determined to sideline its biggest rival? The answer reveals a lot about the future or the nature or the true nature of power in the Central African nation. Now let's evoke Kamto controversy. The biggest news in this election isn't who is in, it's actually who is out. The Constitutional Court or Council has upheld the decision to exclude opposition leader Maurice Kamto, the man who came in a respectable second place in 2018 polls. This disqualification this year was based on a very specific and controversial technicality. You see, because Kamto's own party, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, MRC, backed elected representatives, he sought to run under the ban of another party, the African Movement for New Independence and Democracy, or MANIDEM. But his candidacy was invalidated because a rival individual from that same party also presented their name and an action which is strictly forbidden by the Cameroonian electoral law. This has led to his official elimination from the elections in the October polls. Kamto supporters are calling it a political conspiracy designed to eliminate a key challenger and ensure Biya's victory. Kamto has officially called the decision arbitrary and politically motivated, and his supporters have taken to the streets to protest. Human Rights Watch has even issued a statement warning that the exclusion casts doubt on the election's legitimacy and calling for the release of dozens of Kamto supporters who have been arrested in recent weeks. So, with the biggest threat to Biya's rule now sidelined by what many are calling a legal ambush, is this election already over before it's even begun, or will the remaining opposition unite to divert or defy the odds? The challengers emerged from Biya's shadow. Of the 83 people who submitted applications to run in the October polls, only 12 were approved. This left 71 candidates disqualified for reasons ranging from incomplete files to non-payment of a required deposit. Among the dozen who remained, there are a handful of contenders who could shake up the race. Let's meet them. First on the list is Bello Buba Magari. At 78 years old, he is a true political veteran. He served as Paul Biya's very first prime minister from 1982 to 1983. Since 1997, his party, the National Union for Democracy and Progress has been a key ally of Biya's ruling party, hoping to deliver crucial votes from Cameroon's vote-rich northern region. But that long-standing political marriage ended in June when Maigari, while serving as Minister of State for Tourism and Leisure, resigned to declare his candidacy. His sudden opposition has been met with skepticism. As one political analyst puts it, Cameroonians need more than just a resignation to trust them. Second on the list is Akere, a respected international anti-corruption leader. Muna is campaigning on a promise to rid Cameroon of the bad governance that he says has soiled its image. His credentials are a major part of his appeal. He has served as the Vice President of Transparency International and has a strong background in international law. His political roots runs deep, as the late father Solomon Tandeng Muna was a prominent political figure in the early years of the Republic. Muna is publishing or pushing for a 5-year transition plan to put the nation back on a democratic track. Let's see Cabrel Libi, a younger, vibrant politician. Libi represents the hope for a new generation. At 43, he gained a surprising third place in the last election and has since built a growing political base. He has shown he is not just a leader or a protest candidate. His party, the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation, won several seats in parliament and local elections in the 2020 elections. We see Joshua Osih as the leader of the Social Democratic Front, SDF. Osih is trying to revive a party that was once the main opposition force. The SDF history is significant. It was their candidate, John Frunze, who came closest to unseating Biya in the 1992 election. However, the party has since been plagued by infighting and a decline in its influence. Osih is trying to restore its former glory with promise of social and institutional reforms. Let's see Issa Tchiroma, a political veteran. Tchiroma served as a key minister in Biya's government for many years. He was a long-time Minister of Communication, often acting as the government's official spokesperson. He then became the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training before his shocking decision to run for president himself. So his candidacy is seen by some as a genuine break from the regime, while others view it with skepticism, suggesting it's part of a political plot to split the opposition vote. With so many challenges in the race, the question remains, are they the solution to Cameroon's problems, or are they trying to play the hands on the very system they claim to oppose? Time will reveal this to us. A historical precedent and an uncertain future. Historically, the biggest obstacle for Cameroon's opposition has been their inability to unite. In the 1992 presidential election, a coalition of opposition parties backed candidate John Frunze, who came within a hair's breadth of defeating Biya. Frunze received 36% of the vote to Biya's 40%, the closest anyone has ever gotten, defeating Biya. Today, with Maurice Kamto out, many are hoping that he will use his influence to rally a new coalition behind a single opposition candidate. Civil society leaders are pleading with the remaining challengers to put the nation first, rise above their personal ego. Will the country continue to be led by a 92-year-old president, or will a new era finally begin? The world will be watching on October 12th as the story of this election reveals a deeper struggle for power, identity, and the very soul of a nation. Do like, comment, and hit the notification bell to get notified for more videos. Our new videos we'll be posting on Elite Media.